There's someone who lived inside your body for almost 4 years. They saw the world before you ever understood it. They heard your mother's voice before you knew what language was. They smiled. They laughed. They cried. They fell. And they stood back up and slowly became the person you are today. But here's the impossible part. You have never met them. Because the moment you arrived, they disappeared. No goodbye. No final memory. No trace. It's as if the first version of you simply vanished. So, who were they? And if they disappeared, why did they leave behind the person you are today? The answer isn't just about memory. It's about what creates a human identity. And once you understand it, you'll never think about your own childhood the same way again. For a long time, scientists believed babies couldn't really form memories. It seemed like the perfect explanation. You don't remember your childhood because your brain simply wasn't ready. Case closed. Except it wasn't, because something didn't add up. If babies truly couldn't remember anything, then how could they recognize their mother's voice just days after birth? How could they know the smell of their parents without ever being taught? How could they cry when a familiar face suddenly disappeared, or smile when that same face returned? Somehow, they remembered, not just people, but feelings, sounds, patterns, comfort, even trust, long before they ever spoke or understood the world around them. So, if babies could remember, why can't you remember being one? That single question forced scientists to rethink everything they thought they knew about memory. Because the truth wasn't that babies couldn't remember. The truth was far more unsettling. They remembered in a way that adults never could. For decades, people believed your earliest memories simply disappeared, as if your brain pressed a giant delete button. It sounds logical. After all, if you can't remember something, it must be gone, right? Not exactly. Because forgetting and never remembering are two completely different things. Think about this. You probably don't remember what you ate 3 Tuesdays ago. But if someone showed you a photo or reminded you of the moment, parts of that memory might suddenly come back. Your brain didn't erase it. It simply stopped bringing it back. Now imagine the first years of your life. What if those memories weren't destroyed at all? What if your adult mind just no longer knew how to reach them? That changes everything. Because the mystery is no longer, where did those memories go? The real mystery becomes, why can't the adult brain access them anymore? And that's where scientists made their biggest discovery. The problem was never your memories. The problem was the person trying to remember them. Here's where everything changes. The child you once were did remember, but not the way you do today. When you remember yesterday, your brain creates a story. You remember where you were, who was with you, what happened, and how it made you feel. But babies can't do that. Not because they're less intelligent, because their brain hasn't learned the language of memories yet. Before you ever learned words, before you understood what yesterday even meant, your experiences were being stored in a completely different way. Not as stories, not as conversations, not even as moments. They were stored as emotions, as sensations, as patterns. The warmth of being held, the comfort of a familiar heartbeat, the fear of being left alone, the safety of a familiar face. Your baby brain was recording everything, just not in a language your adult mind can still read. Imagine writing your entire childhood in a language you would completely forget for the rest of your life. The book still exists, but every page has become unreadable. And that's exactly what happened inside your own brain. But here's the strangest part. Even if you can't remember those first years, they never stopped shaping you. Every time someone held you, your brain was learning whether the world was safe. Every smile, every hug, every moment of comfort became invisible instructions for the rest of your life. Long before you knew what trust was, your brain was already deciding who to trust. Long before you understood what fear meant, your body had already learned what to fear. You don't remember the first person who made you feel safe, but your nervous system does. You don't remember the first time someone comforted you, but your heart still carries that memory. Those moments didn't become stories. They became you, your confidence, your fears, the way you love, the way you react, the way you see yourself. Some of the most important decisions your brain ever made happened before you were old enough to remember making them. So maybe your missing childhood was never really missing. Maybe it simply became the foundation of the person looking through your eyes right now. Let's go back to the question we asked at the very beginning. Who were you before you became you? Maybe you'll never know their favorite sound. You'll never remember their first laugh, their first step, or the first time they looked into their mother's eyes. Those memories were never meant to become stories. They became something far more important. They became you. Every forgotten moment quietly shaped the person looking through your eyes right now. So perhaps the greatest mystery was never why you can't remember being a child. The greatest mystery is how someone you can no longer remember is still living inside you. And maybe that's the beautiful paradox of being human. The person you've never met is the one who made you who you are today. So the next time you look at an old photograph of yourself as a baby, don't ask, why can't I remember this? Ask something far more extraordinary. How much of that child is still inside me? Because the first version of you never disappeared. They simply became you. See you in the next mystery.